Special presentation of KTVA 11 News. President Obama visits Alaska.
Good afternoon. I'm James Gaddis, Dillingham, welcoming the President of the United States, landing there right now. That is a live look at the Dillingham Airport. We go live to KTVA 11's Alexis Fernandez to set the scene for us right now. Again, this is as part of his three-day tour. It started in Anchorage yesterday with Seward, and today, as you just saw, he has touched down in Dillingham. After that, it's a stop to Kotzebue. And again, Alexis Fernandez standing by. KTVA's Alexis Fernandez to set the scene for us. Alexis.
Hey, good morning, James. Well, a very rainy day here in Dillingham. That is exciting here in Dillingham. There's about 100 very, very excited people waiting in the hangar for the president to arrive. And you can see right there, he's arrived here at the Dillingham Airport. Now, President Obama has a very, very busy 2 hours delay here in Dillingham. He's talking to...
All right, we're having some technical difficulties, having a hard time hearing Alexis, but we can tell you that everyone there is hoping that the president will see the effects of climate change there when it comes to erosion, fishing, a big fishing town, the high cost of living, everything associated with climate change. That is the point of his trip, is to highlight that climate change, he says, is real and it is affecting Alaska and the rest of the world. There is Air Force One now still making its way down the runway. The president eventually will get out into his motorcade and he will meet with people. He will meet with fishermen there in Dillingham to get a better sense of what it is, the hardships that they go through every day. From there, it's off to Kotzebue, where he will do a bit of the same. That will be an historic visit, as it'll be the first time a sitting president visits the Arctic. And again, we touch on some of the effects climate change is having there. One of the big ones, erosion. A place like Kotzebue, it has a barrier wall protecting it from the water. Some other locations in Alaska, not so lucky. So Obama will be making some announcements as it relates to climate change, including a new federal coordinator to help combat climate change and assist remote Alaskan communities. When we talk about that erosion, on that note, Obama will also announce, President Obama, that the Denali Commission, this is not sure if the dollar amount is large in the grand scheme of things, but he'll announce that that commission is committing $2 million to support voluntary relocation efforts. The release says where appropriate and other resilient strategies for vulnerable rural Alaskan communities. On top of that, he will announce some USDA grants to improve rural Alaska water systems. The hope is that these communities won't have to wait for a disaster to strike and they'll be able to fix their systems accordingly as soon as possible. Places like Akiachuk will get $6.3 million, Kwethluk $2.2 million, Adak $300,000, Kotzebue $56,000. So just some of the announcements the president expected to make. They said he'd be coming with presents, I should say, and that started with the name change of McKinley to Denali. Some more again expected today. You're taking a live look at Dillingham as the president's Air Force One makes its way down the runway, slowly but surely. A bit wet, a bit rainy out there today. And again, the next stop is Kotzebue. I don't know if we're able to pan around at all. I'm not sure if the live crew out there can hear me, but we know there are at least a good 100 people or so that are there to cheer him on, including some of the local officials at the airport. They have been awaiting his arrival. We know they've been making signs this morning, expected to have some flags out. A hero's welcome, so to speak. The red carpet welcome, I guess, is what I should say. So again, the president in Dillingham right now. We await for him, I should say, to take a step out of the plane. This trip began in Anchorage back on Monday. He arrived at J-Bear and quickly, within another, I'd say an hour or so, made his way to the Denali Center for the Glacier Conference. A delegation from around the world there to discuss climate change. He spoke with some local Native leaders as well. The next day it was off to Seward, where he toured the Exit Glacier and was able to see up close and personal just how far back that glacier now sits, how much melt, or I should say glacier melt there has been. So some eye-opening experiences for the president. We have been following along every step of the way. We will have live reports for you tonight. Again, Alexis Fernandez in Dillingham. Emily Carlson is in Kotzebue. We'll be checking in with both of them beginning at 5 and of course again at 6 and 10 o'clock tonight on KTVA 11 News. And of course, stay with KTVA.com, our Facebook page, Twitter, online on Instagram. We'll be putting up pictures, quotes, you name it, a little bit of everything as the day progresses. And I think we may have Alexis Fernandez standing by one more time. Let's see if that audio works. Hello, Alexis.
Hello, James Geddes. Hopefully you have me now.
Yes. How does it look out there?
Like you just saw the president. It's very, very rainy, but there's still a lot of excited people here waiting to meet President Obama as he just arrived right here in Dillingham. Now, like you mentioned, he has a lot to learn here. He'll be meeting with local fishermen and families on Knack Beach near the boat harbor in Dillingham. He'll then attend a cultural performance of the middle school and meet with some of the students as well. Now, a lot of the residents that I talked to this morning say that they don't necessarily want him to do anything specific. They just want him to continue to shed light on Bristol Bay, which is a very important industry, obviously, here in the community. And they just want to make sure that he understands the importance of that industry here and to continue protecting the area for generations to come. So he'll definitely have a lot to learn here during his short trip in Dillingham. But a lot of excitement here. There are banners across town that were painted by young kids, and just the excitement is really, a lot of the residents say it's surreal. This has never happened before, so it's definitely a first. And there you have it. And a lot of the excited people that are here in the hangar waiting to meet him are the mayors, city leaders, a lot of normal residents, commercial fishermen that were born and raised here. So really a variety of people here to meet the president for this historic trip in Dillingham. And there you see the press pool coming off the plane.
Yeah, we often don't get the shot of the press. I always wondered where they exited from. You only see that presidential shot, the big steps right there. Here we go.
Very true. A lot of crew.
Again, the President of the United States about to set foot in Dillingham, making some history today in Alaska, just seconds away. Again, a bit rainy out there. We're going to wipe the lens off for you in just a second to clear that shot up. There we go.
And here comes his motorcade. So he should be coming out any minute. You've got dozens of cars that are part of the motorcade, something that this community has probably never seen before. So I'm sure this is exciting to be here to witness history. And the interesting thing about this motorcade, if people are wondering, that it was actually flown here a couple days before the president got here. So it just shows the logistics that go into, the president and his visits around the world, not only in Alaska. So it's really incredible to see, especially in a small town like Dillingham. And like you mentioned, James, just the press crew that travels with him, you don't necessarily see all the people that travel with him on the plane. It's a big production.
Air Force One, it's its own little city in there. What was it like? We know Anchorage, lots of streets closed, a lot of activity. Was it like that getting into Dillingham today?
A little bit. I'd say some of the residents that I talked to, a lot of them were going to be here for the president's visit, but a lot of other people, decided to maybe stay home or go hunting. But it's been pretty mellow, actually, surprisingly. So we'll see how it goes today. It might be a little bit different when the president actually starts traveling throughout town. But I was told that it definitely feels like there are a lot more people here than normal. Mm-hmm. But of course, you have the fishing season going on. But like you mentioned, having the Secret Service, that's definitely new for us. You don't normally see, groups of security walking around on a daily basis.
Again,
so here we go. Hopefully he's...
If you're just tuning in, we are approaching noon. We are awaiting President Barack Obama to step off the plane here in Dillingham on the third day of his 3-day trip here in Alaska. After this, he heads to Kotzebue, then he'll come back home. I should say, come back to J-Bear first. He'll come back to Anchorage before heading back to Washington, D.C.
There he is. There's the president.
A very warm welcome. He's dressed for the weather, shaking hands.
I'm not sure if you can hear the crowd. They're screaming in the background. So hopefully he'll go and hopefully he'll be greeting them.
Alexis, no matter where you stand, no matter what...
greeting the mayor.
no matter which side of the aisle, I mean, what's it like? I'm here in the studio. You're right there. The president is right there. What's that like for you?
You can hear it. So you've got one side where his crew is. It's a little bit, noisy with the airplane. On the other side, you have all the residents screaming. So hopefully we'll be able to get a shot of that here in a second. But you've got people screaming, trying to get his attention. The big question will probably be whether he'll wear extra toughs. That's like the staple shoe here.
I think he's got to do it.
A lot of people have been asking that exactly.
He'll need them today.
This necessity here for sure. Here he goes.
He's going to shake some hands.
Now he's heading over to greet the crowd. Here you go. There's the excited crowd over there.
And they got to stay dry. That's nice. That's a nice touch. He went to them.
Perfect. Convenient for them as well. So you've got. It's a mix of people, of city leaders and normal residents just here to witness this historic day. You've got the motorcade right behind him, as you can see, always traveling with the door open behind them just in case. A lucky group right there.
Part of history right there. And again, if you are part of it, please do us a favor. We want to see your pictures. We want to see that cell phone video of President Barack Obama in Dillingham this morning. Post it on our Facebook, post it on our Twitter, send it to our Instagram, send it to the newsroom. We would love to see it and be a part of history with you. And again, the President of the United States, Barack Obama, in Dillingham right now, just arrived. He'll be heading out soon to talk to people, to talk to fishermen. And again, they want to show him the effects that climate change has had on their lives, on their community. After this, he heads to Kotzebue, where he will become the first sitting president to visit the Arctic before coming on back to Jay Bear and heading to Washington, D.C. We will have full coverage, live shots from both of those locations coming up tonight, starting at 5, again at 6 and 10 o'clock. On KTVA 11 News. Thanks so much for watching and being a part of history with us. We'll see you later at 5. Thanks again.
This has been a KTVA 11 News special report. President Obama visits Alaska.